Welcome to this edition of the Astrological Weather Report, Saturn Stations Direct, Learning Skills and Mastery. My name is Daniel Fiverson. I am a certified evolutionary astrologer trained in the Jeffrey Wolf Green method of evolutionary astrology. You can receive these forecasts directly in your inbox by subscribing on my website, evolutionaryastrologer.net. My readings will probably tell you things about your chart that no one has told you before. That's the feedback I get from my clients. The Lord of Time, Saturn, stationed direct on November 4th at 0 degrees of Pisces. Saturn begins a 19-month transit through the sign of Pisces, ruled by Neptune. Pisces correlates to transcendence, the desire to reconnect to source, illusions and disillusionment, boundaries, wounding, confusion, mysticism, suffering, and dissociation. Pisces is the final stage of the evolution of consciousness that began in Cancer, moved through Scorpio, and is now in Pisces, and transpires through the water signs. I wrote about the archetype of this transit of Saturn and Pisces when it began in March, and there's an article, a pretty complete article on my website that you can read, evolutionaryastrology.net. Now, bear with me, I'm going to mark this up a little bit so that you can see what we're looking at. I just changed everything around in Zoom, so please bear with me. Saturn stations direct, excuse me. Yeah, Saturn stations direct. So Saturn and Uranus are a powerful duo and mythologically have a significant history. This was the beginning of the patricide lineage that threads through the entire Greek mythology. Uranus, who is Uranus to the Romans, was the primordial god of the sky. His consort was Gaia, the goddess of the earth. Between them, they bore 12 sons and 6 daughters. And among the eldest of the sons was the Cyclops, whom Ulysses encountered in the Odyssey. Uranus locked the Cyclops away in Tartarus, the deepest place beneath the earth. Gaia was greatly pained and urged her Titan sons to rebel against Uranus. Kronos, or Saturn, castrated Uranus with an unbreakable mineral sickle and threw his genitals into the sea. Venus Aphrodite was born from the fertilized water, and the sky god's blood fell upon the earth, creating the Erinyes, the avenging Greek Furies. Uranus had prophesied the fall of the Titans, that they would suffer punishment for their crimes of patricide. And this came to fruition when the youngest Titan son, Zeus, liberated the Cyclops from the pit of the Tartarus. In gratitude, the Cyclops gave Zeus lightning bolts and aided him in the war against the Titans. Kronos was eventually defeated and banished to the prison of Tartarus himself. Astrologically, we attribute to Saturn the gifts of mastery and skills. Saturn creates form and structure. He rules the yin cardinal earth sign of Capricorn and the 10th house in the zodiac wheel. He's associated with social status, leadership, authority, maturity, repression, suppression, and oppression. Saturn and Capricorn are the archetypal expressions of consensus reality and man-made law as opposed to natural law, which is reflected and self-evident in nature. Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius, the sign that follows Capricorn in the natural zodiac. Uranus comes along and disrupts and interrupts the Saturnian structures so that something new can be created. Both Promethean and Epimethean, Uranus manifests as both creatively progressive and alternatively regressive change. Aquarius liberates us from the conditioning patterned by ancestry, gender, nationality, and religion. Uranus and Aquarius correlate to the individuation process as described by Carl Jung. It is who we become as we self-actualize. As Saturn stands still and begins to move forward, the pale of primordial gods collide, creating a powerful centripetal energetic frequency. Events around us are in lockstep, struggling to move forward and backward at the same time. At the station direct, Saturn makes hard aspects to the moon. And the moon is at 29 degrees of her sign, which is the anaretic degree. The anaretic or last degree of any sign is a ring not pass event. It is a barrier that cannot be crossed until all of the issues that are hanging fire that started there about that transit through that passage are resolved, cannot move forward and move into the next sign. So as a result, it creates emotional blockage, immobility, a sense of helplessness, disillusion, and wounding. That's a combination of Saturn and the moon, Cancer and Pisces. It makes a hard aspect to Mercury conjunct Ceres in Scorpio and Pluto's sign. Ceres is the descriptive of where we've experienced our deepest personal loss, and Mercury is our mentation. So with these two, conjoined only 1 degree apart, we are kind of mentally fixated, holding on to what it is that we've lost, rather than beginning to imagine what we can achieve going forward. What's important? It's Scorpio. We've gone down into our personal underworld and our own pit of Tartarus, and we're kind of stuck there, unable to see the light that really is above us, and to understand what it is that we need to do to work through these crises that we are experiencing. In Mercury, it also creates confusion. The Pisces aspect to it definitely creates confusion. It is a hard aspect to Venus in Virgo. This creates weak boundaries and betrayal. Again, Pisces is betrayal. So there's a sense in some cases of being betrayed because we've had weak boundaries and not really being able to establish what it is that we need and who we are. Uranus in Taurus creates insecurity. Sign of Taurus is about self-reliance, but in this hard aspect to Saturn that I described, it creates insecurity, not security. It's a sense that we are not don't have what we need to be self-reliant. That there's the Virgo aspect of Venus comes into play as well, where we just feel just incapable of really moving forward, of feeling a little bit stuck. Juno in Virgo is conjunct Lilith, Black Moon Lilith, both retrograde. No, Lilith is retrograde. Juno is not. Juno's an asteroid. Black Moon Lilith is a point in the sky. The moon has an elliptical orbit. It's not a circular orbit around the Earth. It's elliptical. And one focal point of that ellipse is the Earth itself. The second point, the second focus of that ellipse is Black Moon Lilith. There's not anything there in space, but it's a very powerful energetic point in space without anything actually occupying it. And what this does is, again, it emphasizes a sense of betrayal, because Lilith was betrayed, and a sense of infidelity. Juno was definitely betrayed by infidelity, and there's also this sense of self-exile that can come up. It needs to self-exile from what's going on, rather than engaging with it, perhaps stepping back rather than stepping in. Saturn makes compatible aspects to Mars in Scorpio and the lunar south nodes. You can see that these are trines and sextiles to the nodes, and this is a septile, which a 51-degree aspect, which is about fate. So there's a fated quality that pervades this moment. It's almost as if we're observing destiny unfolding, especially with the lunar north node, the lunar nodes, which are also about our destiny. The north node is our projected future. The south is what we have brought with us from the past that we're holding on to and hopefully working on. Mars in Scorpio, again, it goes deep into its underworld. But in this case, it's in order to delve into it, to perhaps make different choices, because Mars is our behavior and the choices that we make based on our priorities and our values, which are derived from Venus. Asteroid Pallas Athena. Where's Pallas? Pallas, where are you? Pallas Athena is conjunct the south node. She is the octave transformer, the connection between our rational lower mind and our seemingly irrational upper mind. She's a strategist. She's able to take those impulses and downloads that we get that seem to come out of nowhere, and to strategize them and bring them down to a rational level, so that we can actually work with them. So she's working with the past. She's working with the south node, again in Libra, trying to find balance, trying to in a relational mode, trying to work with what's going on rather than being divisive, but to kind of pull things together in this trine to Saturn. There's self-awareness from Venus and Virgo as well. This is an inconjunct. However, Libra, Venus and Libra, this Libran energy is also seeking to achieve balance. The Virgo is down here in Juno, and this opposition to Saturn brings in self-awareness. If I can do this, and if you can see, I can't draw it with this little circle, but most of the planetary players that are denoted by these aspects are in this western portion of the chart, and that denotes that we're being triggered by challenges from our outer world. The eastern horizon is really more of an inner motivated space, where the choices that we make, the decisions that we make, for better or for worse, are coming from inside of us. With planets, the planetary activity really more present in the western hemisphere of the chart, we're more or less responding and hopefully not reacting to outer world events that are happening to us, that are driving events forward in our personal lives and in the world around us. Saturn brings mastery and skills. Generally, we learn the hard way through direct emotional experience. Clearly, as we observe the world around us and the events that fill the news, this is the only and best explanation for what is happening to our world. I've run out of platitudes to smooth the waters. The inconvenient truth is that we've chosen to be here now. It's our job to find our part and engage with it. I thank you all for listening. I will see you next time. Namaste. Be safe, be happy, be kind.